Love Yahweh your God with all your heart, all your soul, with all your might. See, this love that is commanded refers to the language of Near Eastern political loyalty oaths. What is commanded by the Shema is sole political allegiance to Israel and its God, Yahweh. It is not a denial of the existence of other gods, but instead it addresses the betrayal of loyalty that occurs when an Israelite gives political allegiance to the other gods, and therefore to the other nations. And T.J. Meeks concludes here, his conclusion is extremely interesting. Deuteronomy 6:4 is usually translated, "Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our God, Yahweh is one." Whatever that may mean. If it makes any sense at all, it seems to mean that there was only one Yahweh, and there were not many as there were many of the Baals. According to the conservative Jewish scholar Jacob Hochschander, the words express the unity of the Lord as far as Israel was concerned, and they do not imply the doctrine of an absolute monotheism, which denies the very existence of the other gods. The Shema does not deny the other existence of the other gods. Against the popular rendering, both the grammar and the syntax in the Hebrew here of the Shema require the translation, "Hear Israel, Yahweh is our God, Yahweh alone." But even so, there is again nothing to suggest anything more than monolatry. This is not monotheism. This is simple political loyalty to Yahweh alone. That is the grammar and the syntax of the Hebrew, and it really is straightforward. You don't have to mix anything in with it. I've rendered it just as literally as you can from the Hebrew, Shema Yisrael. Hear Israel. Adonai, Yahweh, Yahweh, Eloheinu. This is the plural, our Elohim. Yahweh, our God, our Elohim. Yahweh Echad. Yahweh one, or Yahweh alone. This shows the other nations where the loyalty of Israel is to Yahweh, only to Yahweh. It is not denying the existence of the other gods. I think that's powerful. That's very interesting now. So in line with this interesting analysis of the Shema, Osler notes that there are gods, plural. Notice this. There are gods before the creation of heaven and earth. In other words, before creation, there was already something else existing besides God, and that was the other gods. The council of the gods are pre-creation things. This is fascinating. Just what kind of beings are the gods in the Hebrew text? Job 38:6. I want you to read that. Job 38:6 refers to the morning stars. Now you saw Paul Sanders' analysis where the morning stars and the Bene Elohim, the sons of God, are discussed in parallelism in the Hebrew text. They are the same kinds of beings. Sons of God, they are divine beings. These are the gods. Now the morning stars, or gods who were already present at the time when God set about to create. For instance, in Job, where were you when I founded the earth? Tell me if you have understanding. Who set its measurements, or set its cornerstone when the morning stars, this is the Kokavai Boker. Where were you when the cornerstone was set, when the morning stars sang together? And all of the sons of God, this is Kol Bene Elohim, all of the sons of God shouted for joy. They shouted for joy when God began to create the earth and the heavens. They existed prior to creation. Fascinating. Abraham chapter 3. As W. Randall Garr observed, Job 38 corroborates that the gods were present at creation. The gods celebrated God's first creative act. They were prior to God's first creative act. Now that's fascinating, isn't it? Perhaps they participated in the creation as well. Hey, that's very Joseph Smith Brigham Young doctrine, isn't it? They participated in the creation as well. Look up Brigham Young and the Journal of Discourses on that. Elohim, Adam, Michael, all of the great prophets of the dispensation, according to Brigham Young, he said, we actually participated in this. Very interesting. Well, since the verbs expressing creation in this text are not exclusively controlled by God, these terms open up the possibility of co-divine involvement under God's direction and leadership. And it is the same principle with Genesis 1:26. Job's God was not alone at creation, but accompanied by divine ministers. In fact, not only does the text of the Hebrew Scripture never recount any theogony or creation of the sons of God, but also Hebrew Scripture nowhere alludes to. It doesn't even suggest that the sons of God were created. In contrast to being created, these heavenly hosts consist of sun, moon, and stars. These were organized on the fourth day, and they were not organized from nothing. They were organized from chaos and placed in the dome of the firmament. Genesis 1:14 and 19. Verse 2 of Genesis chapter 1 says, Ve'ha'aretz haita tohu vavohu. The earth was empty and form, or it was desolate. It was a wasteland. It was a desert. But it was part of the chaos already when God began to create the heavens and the earth. Utterly fascinating, isn't it? The web of concepts entailed by creation ex nihilo wasn't even on the horizon yet at the time these texts were created. While these gods are distinguished from the Most High God, of course, yes, because they are never referred to as the creators of all that exists, or are they ever viewed as the ultimate authority in the divine council. However, they are characterized by the fact that they already exist at the time of the creation. They really are there as gods. Furthermore, these gods are, at least implicitly, dependent on the Most High in the sense that they are called the Bene Elohim, the sons of God. In the context of Near Eastern thought, then, such a claim naturally connoted a familial relationship of origin. The existence of the sons of El Elyon presupposes the existence of the Most High God as Father. Yes. Their origin is simply not a subject addressed by the Hebrew texts, but it is a significant silence, without question that. Oh, this is on page 55, incidentally, of Osler. The view that there were primordial gods already in existence at the time of the creation of the heavens and the earth is further established by the plural references, especially in Genesis 1:26. We read there, "Let us make man in our image and after our likeness." While it has been suggested that the use of us is either a royal we or an anachronistic reference to the Trinity, the Syro-Ugaritic materials here make it fairly certain that the God Elohim addressed the divine council, his sons, the Bene Elohim, not human judges. Humans weren't created yet. They weren't the angels. These are the Elohim of this divine council. Divine beings, absolutely. It suggests that the earth's organization was being completed by creating man in the image of the gods. It began with the physical structures, the sky, the heavens, the earth, the planets, the sun, the moon, the stars, and all that jazz. The completion of it was the creation of mankind.